Be going, oh, it's not giving us any difficulty either. Are we happy?
Fabulous.
Oh, yeah. And I'll try and shrink that up and try and bring that down. And I believe we are live now. Well,
Woo.
welcome. If not, we're going to have a lot of bloopers eventually here. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us and wanting to get a slight little fun uplift for the day. This is CSI, create a source of inspiration, and inspiration is all around us, everywhere. And today, instead of my co pilot, we have Colleen Burrill here as our special guest because she is a digital media director. And so, what does that mean? And how is she inspired with that? And how is she in the holistic world with all that versus from where she was before? And so, with all of that, know that she first started off as a student of mine and then became helping with some understanding of the importance of digital media presence as we're dealing with social platforms and the frustration of them. And then became my digital media director. You know, all those beautiful shorts that you see, that is the art of Colleen. And so she's here to help people get a digital presence and help us a little bit with the level of frustration involved because you can't touch it. And so, therefore, that's why I'm saying the dog can't eat your homework. You can't blame anything on the dog. It's like, but we can with tech. So, with that and the ado, I want to please bring Colleen to everyone. And Colleen, thank you for coming here as the guest today.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Karina. I'm just so honored to be here as a guest. And yeah, it's always a great time to be here on CSI.
So, a lot
So,
of people forget that when they're looking for inspiration and things like that, they have a tendency to throw away the fun element. That is always very, very important as well. But before we get into that a little bit, I'm going to ask you the very simple question I ask all my guests. Colleen, what is inspiration to you?
awesome. I love it. So, yes, well, I have had the opportunity to be on once before. And so now I'd like to answer this with a different lens. And inspiration to me is that I am building something that has never been built before. So, what do I mean by that? There are entrepreneurs in my family, but for the most part, I was raised with like the classic advice of, get a good job and play it safe and follow all the steps.
Uh-huh.
So, carving my own path has really been exhilarating and inspiring in itself. But then you add the layer of holistic wellness into what I do, the kind of clientele that I work with. And that is what inspires me every day to want to get up out of bed. I mean, it's not just about entrepreneurship anymore. Now it's about purpose too. And, I just feel like, how can I not get excited about wanting to share this powerful, ancient, heart-centered knowledge with the modern world?
Oh,
So,
I love it.
yes, that would be inspiration to
And
me.
you're right. This is through a different lens now.
Yes.
I absolutely love it because now it is fuller,
hmm
more satisfying. And honestly, a lot. more unexpectedness starts to pop up. It's like, oh, I never saw that before. Oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, wow, really? Wow. And sometimes the more you know, the more, not the sacredness, but the mysticism comes out of it and the practicality comes forward, that people start to understand, oh, wait a minute, I can do this. I can reshape my life and the direction I'm going.
Absolutely.
And it's bountiful. It's not like, oh, there's just one little idea that I'm being thrown, a, a, a pebble, a stone about. There's another term, but I can't think of it right now. Um, words often escape me, guys. Oh, a bone. Throwing the bone out. That was it. Okay, the dog, the
I was
bone.
gonna
There we
say.
go. Um, it isn't that. It's like the ripple in the water when you throw the stone or a bone in the water in the lake and it starts rippling out. I mean, that's where the possibilities and the inspiration, it keeps spreading and spreading and growing and expanding and expanding.
Yep.
So now that we have your different lens about this, the next question is, what inspirational story would you love to share with the audience?
Hmm. Okay, well, this is kind of like an in real time story.
Okay,
So,
great.
yeah, okay. So over the past 2 years, I've really been more honing in on, you know, building this niche business. And, throughout that time, I've still kind of been applying to little part-time, positions that they're not like, let's see. I need to find some words. Hold on one second.
I understand.
Um, just working side by side with what I'm doing. It coincides, but it's separate perhaps from what I'm building. And so over this past 2 years, let me get back to where I was going. Um, None of these things have worked out. I mean, even if I've applied to something and I knew that I was overqualified, right? Like maybe that was the reason you apply to something like, oh, it's like easy, right? And still, it hasn't worked out. And, after a while, you're starting to like maybe think, okay, like something wrong with me. But no, no, no. On the flip side of that, I believe that the universe is telling me that none of those things worked out for a reason because it's time for you to stop like looking outside of yourself and really focus and just bring what you've been looking to build forward. So that has been a message that I have really recently acknowledged.
Yay.
Yeah. And yeah, it feels pretty good to have that like self-awareness to even look at that in a different light.
Yeah, it really is because a couple things happen with all of that. Everyone has gifts, but there's this noise in the head that, and it's what society also has taught us, that there's somebody better than you out there and keep looking for it. Okay, which actually
Mhm.
takes you away from your center and from your core, which we are doing a workshop next week on that. Um, and so more insecurities in the beginning start to bubble up because this isn't working, that isn't working. But once you come together with that understanding, What a time saver. Not just time, but a lifesaver. Because now you're not you're not the hamster in the wheel running around, um, or the carrot and the stick trying to work with this, work with that. It's like you stop and you pause, and you can start to hear in the silence of it all how the magnificence of what you've been given and everything you've gone through life, how it can come back and start to converge together to come into something bigger, more beautiful, and more purposeful.
Love
So,
that.
thank you for sharing that because, yes, folks, everyone can come back into that clarity. You just have to recognize that part of you is disconnected. Maybe all of you is disconnected. Maybe maybe the weight's too heavy that you've been carrying. Maybe the noise is too loud within you, but the answers are within us. It's just how do we reach them? How do we get back to that center?
Yeah.
And it's very heartwarming for me, of course, as your mentor, to know that this is where you're now emerging from, like this beautiful fountain that's opening up. And so that's another reason why I wanted you to come on the show now to help reinforce that with yourself. I mean, you've been doing digital work for a long time. It's in many different fields
Hmm.
of industry,
Hmm.
but it hasn't been that long that you've been bringing yourself into something more purposeful, and it's been allowing you to be more artful at the same time.
I like that.
And
Hmm.
so I want to shine a light on you for that. And I am so grateful that you are in my life and helping make my world so much easier. That
Yes.
you give me such beautiful things that we can get messages out to people to, if nothing else, provoke curiosity, to plant a seed, to give an insight, but ultimately to help people become more of who they are and move forward instead of ever feeling that they're stuck and everything's impossible and there's no hope or possibilities for them. And it's not true. All the noise, all the naysayers, no, it's not true. And we're here to change that paradigm.
Yes, absolutely.
I absolutely love it. So, okay, so I did put a little post out there about the dog not eating your homework because digitally, even though you may have a touch screen, guys, you still literally can't grab and hold like, glasses, like paper. And yes, we want to be good to the trees and the environment and our ecosystem to not be taking down all the trees. But there is a level of frustration that comes with all of that especially when the tech is not right or we can't take and organize it on our monitors, but we have to deal digitally. So, what beautiful little insight or tips can you share with the audience to try and bring that more into an ease?
Yes, definitely.
And when you hit the wall, bring you even, or the ceiling, get you off the ceiling, which I
Yes.
have been up there, I must admit, quite a few times.
Yes, I can totally resonate with the being frustrated and wanting to throw the computer out the window and all that stuff. Totally. So a couple of things would be that I have learned. So when I have my browser up, and Karina, I know you do the same, we normally have like 20,000 tabs up.
Oh, yeah, God, yeah.
And that I have learned in itself is like will give me anxiety. So, what I've been trying to do is if I have a specific task that I'm working on, I will only have like that browser window up. Or, if I need like two others, like if I need to have my email up next to it just to reference something, so there's no more than maybe five tabs at one time that I'm looking at, like that I can visually see, because just even having those in your frame of view is like overwhelming. So if we just have it down to like one to five, this is the task that we're immediately working on. Then later we can like bring up that other browser to remind us of all those articles we're not going to read and you know
Okay, so
all those things.
what I'm
Um,
hearing is digital clutter.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that. Because we're talking about decluttering, physical things around us, because visually, as there's too much clutter and it's not organized, we get tired just looking at it. Digitally, I know for myself, for sure, I get tired of trying to find the right tab of my grouping of browser tabs. I don't just have, several. I have big groupings of them. But here's where I am with that. I get nervous on a tab that I don't want to lose sight of. I want to be able to go back and reference it.
Sure.
And so, how do we do that without keeping the browser open with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I was saying, you can just minimize it. Like you just pull out the tabs that you want to be looking at. And then if you complete with those, you can either close them. I don't want to get too technical, but Google does have a way that you can kind of organize your tabs and categorize them in that manner. So, if you're listening and you're intrigued by that, I encourage you to just kind of look that up. But no, I
Or
totally,
contact you.
or contact me. Absolutely. But I can totally appreciate oh, I don't want to close this. I don't want to lose it, but I can't look at it right now. Another just like easy thing would be if it's something, you're on the interwebs and you just stumble onto something and you do want to look at it later, but you can't look at it right now, is just save it to a folder within your favorites. That could be literally labeled to look at later.
When you
And
say, okay, for, some people may not know what you're talking about when you just said that, because in the beginning I had no clue what that meant and
Mhm.
or how to do it.
Yeah, okay. Well, if you're on a Mac or if you're on a PC, it should be essentially the same, but there should be, if you're looking at the address bar, there's usually like a little, it looks like a bookmark or a star, some sort of signification that you want to favorite that or save it. That's usually the easiest way. And depending on, again, how tech savvy you are, you can have multiple folders for your favorites or just have one that that's the
Because
place to go.
it allows you with the drop down to create a new folder.
Yep. Yep.
And then if you star something, then that drops down and then you get to choose what folder you want it in.
Correct.
Okay. I did not know that for a long time. And I had such a string out there that it was just like having all the browsers up and I couldn't find anything.
Oh
Okay.
no.
So frustration. Okay. So here's another question though. What happens if you have Too many things in your folders. And yet you still have other things that you want to somehow be able to see and pull up. Because if you go into the history, which what I did not know, that every time you open a tab or close a tab, it logs it in the history. So, and if you can't remember what the tab said or the heading of it, even in a search, you can't find it. Uh, that doesn't work. Okay, so I learned that, and that frustrated the crap out of me. Um, so would you suggest to the audience that maybe if they open a Google Doc and label it browser tabs they want to keep, and they can actually copy the URL and put the tab in there and also put some text on top of it so they know what it's for and keep a running list that way. And that way they can turn around and just click on it. They can just glance back. Oh, I have a free 5 minutes. And now you don't have to look everywhere. All you need to do is just scroll right down or search for it, and you've got that thing you wanted to see and know that it's time to get rid of it
Yep.
or it's important to respond to.
Perfect. I love that idea. And even if
You
you,
gave me that idea, by the way, girl. I just haven't
hilarious.
fully implemented it yet, but I started.
I love it. Very good. Yes. And even, if you want to make your life even a little bit easier, you could even just grab like a quick screenshot. If there was something specific on the page, that was the reason why you went. Just take the screenshot, put it with the link. So when you come back to that page, you're like, oh, that was why I wanted to look at this link. Like, okay, let me open this up. And then, as you said, you have it saved in that doc. You can close that browser tab and you've already alleviated some space and freed up your mind a little.
I like that. I like the
Yeah.
visual more
Yeah.
than having to read the text on text on text. That
Hmm.
I get bored with that real fast.
Yeah.
Um, definitely a visual and kinesthetic girl to touch things. As a designer, in
Yep.
part, and in fitness, everything is touchy. So this world sometimes gets very challenging. Um, but I love the idea of that screenshot visual
Hmm.
because now you don't even have to go searching on the page. You
Yep.
see what the target was about that page.
Absolutely. Yep.
Well, folks, now, how many jotted all those several, and they are several, insightful ideas on how to alleviate a lot of the frustration dealing in the digital world? Now, some people I know have no problem whatsoever. They're more techie savvy, sort of, and just love it. Very linear, not an issue. And they're going, what on earth are you talking about? It's no problem. But there's a lot of us that we're not. And so you were just given several different ideas to help create some more ease in your life. And if you miss some of it, please come back. It stays up in the live. So now it will become a replay for you. And you will be able to start to implement some of it. Of course, you have to put some time in your schedule specifically to do this so you stay in the right mindset, which, of course, as I tell you this, I'm reminding myself to do it. And if you have any questions, also right after this in the description, we're going to put Colleen's contact information in case you want to reach out and you have some questions how to do that, or actually how you need to start to learn how to have a digital presence. Because whether we like it or not, is here to stay. It doesn't mean it has to consume you, but we need a small portion if you're doing any form of business.
Yep.
And so we're trying to alleviate the pain of the things that we had to go through to learn
Yes.
to get to an easier point. And having said that, I definitely want to bring up the fact that if you have been seeing the posts for this whole year on the energy series, and if you want to take a look, they're in, some of them are still in the video section, I think you can check
Mhm.
up on. But we are going to not conclude, but expand on that come next Thursday evening at 7 Eastern Standard Time. And it is the core reset. Stop trying to fix the wrong things. And it is a lot of fun. We are definitely going to put the link in for registration. It is only if you come into the Zoom that evening and attend and be present that you will be able to receive some very insightful gifts. However, if you do register and you can't make it, then you will have a limited time that you'll be able to see the replay because we won't be putting this out live and we won't be putting the replay out publicly. This is if you want to start really understanding it's time to change a few things. This is the time for you to start to come and resonate and get some tips. There's definitely some exercises I do with you that are experiential, so they go into the soma of your being. And these are things that you can take with you always. But remember, it's only the beginning. So if you love what you're feeling and experiencing, you will have an opportunity to come and have a conversation with me as well. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited that Colleen, you were able to come here today and give this great information. In a couple of months, we're going to follow up on actually delving in. Oh, thank you. Delving into what it means to start to create a digital presence and some of the steps. So that will be over in Holistic Health, which will be live on a Thursday, and that will be an hour time that we start delving into things deeper. So I look forward to having you return on that.
Thank
But in
you.
the meantime, you will be my co-pilot in the workshop. So people, you'll get to see Colleen more and more of her beautiful work. Just go into the shorts. And yeah, we'd love to have you. We love to help you. And that's our purpose. That's why we're here. Colleen, any last closing words?
Oh, this was so fun, Karina. Thank you so much for having me today. The only thing that I thought of, I do just want to remind everyone that while we are a lot in the digital space, you do need to remember to be in real life and go out and touch grass, and that in itself will absolutely inspire you. And then come to Karina's workshop and embody some more of this beautiful information, and you'll be set to
Oh,
live a
thank
life
you.
with intention.
You know, you're right. And nature is an amazing healer, supporter. I mean, we're all part of nature, but
Yep.
we forget that part.
Yep.
So connecting out there with nature, getting away from the screen, getting away from the computer, you need a break on so many levels, even the EMFs that are coming at you from the computers. Okay. That's a whole nother thing, guys. And there's a frequency involved in all that, but we're not doing that here. Um, So yes, it's very important to literally fill up your soul and be able to breathe freely. And people get so tired because they're not aware of what their breath can do for them. They're on automatic pilots, and that too can be switched. And I don't always open it up, but I will be opening up a fall program that can take you through this journey more. But you'll hear a little bit about that at the workshop on next Thursday. So I want to send everybody off with some warm, beautiful, I love you, darling, for being here. I want to
Thank you.
send everybody out in the audience so much love and blessings, and know that you are really amazing. And we are grateful to have you with us, and share any of this with any of your friends. And definitely subscribe to become part of our tribe. The
Yes.
more we come together with the beautiful energy, the more we resonate out in the world and can make changes without even saying a word. We just start illuminating. So you'll learn more about that when you come to the workshop. All right. So with that, I'm going to wish everybody well, and we are going to be off the air now. Have the most blessed, gorgeous rest of the day or evening or morning, wherever you are. And we'll see you soon. Hopefully the workshop